and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Shaving with Rich. I'm excited about this episode today. I'm actually going to tell my story on how I got into wet shaving. It's quite a story, and it may be something that many of you will relate to. Anyways, let me know in the comments how you got into wet shaving. Anything that you can relate to on how that maybe parallels, because I thought my story was kind of unique. And then as I tell the story and I listen to other people's stories for 4 years, I realized there's a lot of commonalities. So anyways, comment below what you think about the story and how you, more importantly, I'd like to hear how you guys got introduced to wet shaving. So this morning I actually got a question from somebody in one of my in my Facebook group. They wanted to know how I got started into making shaving brushes. And so I told him, I'm actually gonna make a video for you, because I just can't there's more to the story than I could just tell through a PM. So he seemed pretty excited that he was gonna get a video that explained everything. So I'm actually gonna make a couple videos, because the first video is just an idea of explain how I got into the hobby to begin with, what my story is, because that leads into how I got into brushes. So I'm going to break it up into a couple of videos here for you. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. I'm really excited to read in the comments below how you guys were introduced. So I was actually introduced to wet shaving, traditional wet shaving, through a lifelong best friend. Now this is a friend that we literally grew up from the time we were like 7 years old all the way up. So I mean, over 30 years we've been best friends. So when I got introduced to wet shaving, we were like pushing 30 years, or right at the 30-year mark or something like that. So anyways, long enough that I understand how he rolls in life, and we had this interesting dynamic between the two of us. He loves to tease, and yet as friendships, you wear a lot of hats. We got the tease you hat, we got we're gonna go out and have a good time, we're gonna play video games when you're little kids, to all the way up and through everything. But then there's the times where you wear that hat where you confide in things, like now we're not kids anymore, we're adults, we're married, we have our own kids, whatever. So things have changed, but the thing that stayed the same the whole time is he just loves to tease. So we've spent many years going back and forth, like always trying to get the one thing that they wouldn't live down, so we can always remind them and stuff when I go back home, because he still lives in my hometown. That dynamic has never changed. In fact, he married the girl that he married, trumps him in teasing and just giving a hard time for fun. So anyways, we're there visiting, and he decides, he's excited about this new hobby, but his wife was really giving him a hard time about it. So he thought he would confide that in me, because he was excited and he wanted to share his hobby with me. So he knew that I think it was weird. His wife was giving him a hard time, but he also wanted to share that with me. So he was willing to take the risk, I guess. So anyways, he's telling me, he's like, hey, I got this new hobby. My wife kind of gives me a hard time about it, but I just got to tell you what it is. And I'm like, well, what is it? I've kind of put on that hat now, where now I'm the confiding friend. Yeah, tell me what's up, So I'm listening, and he he's like, it's actually wet shaving. I'm like, shaving is your hobby? And he's like, yeah. And he shows me, like those old razors like they used to shave with back in the day. He said, that scene on TV with the guy from Pawn Stars, Rick Harrison, you never saw that razor? It's in Walmart. And I'm like, yeah, I saw that. before. He's like, yeah, dude, I just was spending all this money on cartridges. I wanted to save money, so I decided one day to just pick up that razor. And then I started researching a little bit more about it. I found on YouTube all these guys that were shaving and stuff, and it's like it's a little bit hard to explain. I'll just show you a couple videos, because he could read me and he knew I'm thinking like, shaving is your hobby. It's like, yeah, my wife's giving me a hard time too, but like, let me just help you explain. You love it. I'm getting the best shaves of my life, Rich. I'm like, okay, so he's really trying to sell me. And I'm just thinking like, man, this is gold. Like, I could checkmate him right now if I wanted, because like he confided something in me and was like, don't you know we've been friends for 30 years and you're always trying to pin me with something and embarrass me? Don't you know there's a debt right now? It's like, of course I got your number. This is going to be time to serve you. But I was like, no, Rich, don't do that. Don't do that. This is pure gold, because this is weird. This guy is now showing me videos of other men in their bathrooms shaving. How much more weird can you get than that? So I'm like, bite your tongue, Rich, and just play that role. Put that hat on, be the confidant, and just let him feed you all the information. And I was just going to put it in there for later so I could checkmate him. And by the time I decided to checkmate him, there's no way that he could back out and say that he isn't totally weird for watching men shave in their bathrooms. So he's like, listen, just do me a favor. Just buy a razor. Just, we'll go there. You buy the same razor I did, whatever. Just get started. Buy one soap, one brush, and some blades, and you're gonna be good. You're gonna start saving money, Rich, and better than that, you're gonna get the best shaves of your life. And I'm thinking, all right, this is a win-win, because one, he's like, just try it for a month. So I'm like, okay, either one, I'm gonna try this for a month, and I'm gonna learn to get the best shaves of my life. That's a win. Two, I will get just the same amount of quality of shave as I'm getting, but I'll save money. That's a win. Or three, I'm going to find out that all of this is a bunch of bunk. It's a bunch of garbage, hogwash, and then I can confirm that he really is just as nuts and crazy and weird watching men in their bathrooms shaving as his hobby, and I will never let him live this down. That's a total win too. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm playing along with it. We go down there. I buy the razor. I take my, have my first shave. It was all right. It wasn't the best shaves of my life. So I'm still skeptical and all that. But, I'm still playing along, because I'm like, he said, give it a month. I'll give it a month. So anyways, I order my first soap, my first brush, and some blades, just the basics and stuff. And then I start to enjoy it, Before long, like, I started getting better shaves. I started noticing, and I started to realize, like, it's kind of like an art. So in order to decide which soap I was going to buy, I had to watch a bunch of videos, because I didn't want to just spend a bunch of money or whatever and then get something, if it was artisan, and not have it be the one that a good one. So I started, trying to, but I didn't want to put a lot of money in either, because I wasn't sold on all this. So I started looking and comparing price and what people said about the scent and the performance and all this stuff, trying to figure out, because if I was only going to buy one soap, which one is it going to be? So before long, I'm watching these videos. I'm in this pursuit of trying to crack him, to figure out for sure if he's just a weird, out of his mind, creeped out, creepy guy, or what. So before long, I start enjoying it. I kind of catch the vision of everything. It becomes fun. It's something that I like looking forward to, instead of something that I just did, you know what I mean, that I didn't give any thought for. It started to become something that was enjoyable for me. It was just personal time. It was just busy life and this and that. I'm like, I started to enjoy lathering my face and going through the process and and the art to learn how to hold the razor right and get the right angle and get that BBS baby butt smooth shave, and afterwards just be like, wow, So I started kind of picking up, and then before long, I next thing I know, I'm the guy that's on the camera, and I'm making the videos, and I'm posting them up on YouTube, and I'm buying way more shaving stuff than him, way more, and I ended up being the guy in the end that I thought was the weirdo that. Well, not just watching men shave in their bathrooms, but I end up being the guy that actually started to create the content, put the camera in my bathroom as I'm shaving, and put that out for the world to see. And so, would never know. And so what that led into was actually going to the Big Shave West back in 2016, and I decided that I wanted to bring my dad along with me. Now my dad, he didn't give two craps about shaving. He shaved with an electric razor for his entire life. So 50 years that he shaved, So way back when he was young in the military, I believe they issued him a DE razor back in the day. But, he doesn't even know what happened to that. And as soon as he got the opportunity, he was on electric for the rest of his life. So when we got the opportunity to go out to the Big Shave West, that seemed like kind of an interesting, weird thing to my dad, I'm sure. But my dad also thought, hey, road trip with my son. So my dad really was excited about the road trip with his son. He couldn't care less about this shaving thing that my dad really didn't understand why I was excited. I'm sure my dad probably thought the same thing that I was thinking about my other friend that introduced me, but he was just like along for the ride. He's like, hey, maybe I'm not gonna, he didn't say this, but I know he's thinking kind of like, maybe, we'll go out there and maybe I'm not gonna enjoy this event thing, but I'm gonna get a lot of quality time with my son, and that is what he was really interested in. So long story short, we go out to the event. My dad, he gets to see people, talk to people. He understands, gets a better idea of what all this is, and he gets interested. And during that weekend, was able to, help my dad purchase his first DE razor, and he was going to start. And so it turned out to be a really great weekend. And my dad, I helped walk my dad when we got back to Utah, pulled into his house. We immediately went down and I walked him through his first shave. And from that point on, he loved it. Every day, he just looked forward to that time for shaving, because shaving was something totally different for my dad at that point. Something it had never been. So my dad started to understand what this was, which led into a whole nother story. But we're going to keep the brush and how I got into making shaving brushes for another episode, because we're already 13 minutes into this, so I want to keep it in smaller chunks if I can. So anyways, that's my story. I thought my friend had lost his mind, thought he lost all his marbles. I thought it was very borderline, very, very weird to me why this guy would be watching videos of men shaving in their bathrooms, and the funny thing is I thought I was going to checkmate him. So I'm like, yeah, I'll try this out for a month. I'm like, by this time when I'm through this with a month into this thing, I'll know for sure he's out of his mind. And then when I drop the gauntlet, there's no way that he's going to be able to backpedal and be like, oh, no, that's not what I was thinking. That's not what I was saying. You must have misunderstood me. No, because I was not going to let him weasel his way out on the thing that I was going to checkmate him with and never let him live down for the rest of his life. This was gold, for the friendship part. When he's throwing a jab to me, making fun, teasing me, boom, 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 I've always got, the queen on the chessboard. You're never going to beat me now, buddy, because you are weird. So that's what I thought. I ended up totally backfiring. I didn't save any money on wet shaving. I spent a lot of money on wet shaving, but it's the best money I ever spent. I love wet shaving now. I totally see it in a whole different way. and it's just something that I get to enjoy when I decide to shave. That's just a whole different experience for me, and everything that's happened since, the Facebook groups and the people I've met and all the stuff, is just something that's come from that. So that's my story. That's how I got into wet shaving. Stay tuned for the next episode. I will be talking about how I was introduced, how I got into making shaving brushes for the next episode. And then I'll be doing a challenge, a shaving challenge that we're doing in our Facebook group in another video. So stay tuned for several upcoming videos. They should all be great and entertaining, insightful. Don't miss them. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to just click subscribe below, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment. Let me know how you got introduced into wet shaving. So, all right. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you and take care. See ya. As always, thanks for watching, and if you want to be notified when my videos come out, just click the bell next to the subscription. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.